Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Sopheak37, assuming that's how you pronounce the name, Sinister Cup run. Sopheak is using Medicham, Haunter, Driftblim, Alolan Marowak, so running Triple Ghost, Poliwrath, and Steelix, so no Psychic, single Steel, double Fighter. Very interesting team composition. Going up against Silent Raven 3891. And let's go ahead and take a look at these battles. All right. Silent Raven's running double Fighter, double Ghost, and then Psychic Steel. So pretty balanced team. Going Dusclops versus Poliwrath. Since it's the Hex version of Dusclops, it should have a favorable matchup against Poliwrath. Going for that Shadow Punch, and then this Dusclops looking to double up, but unfortunately the bubble came through, and then Sopheak is looking to correspond, doubling up on this Ice Punch, trying to self-piggyback, and unable to because got the Hex in between, but that's quite alright. Alright, and then I'm surprised Silent Raven wasn't able to get off another charge move. Maybe the piggyback worked, or they're trying to double up. I definitely wouldn't shield. And then if they beat us to the next charge move, then it's not a big deal. Up a shield, I think you just take it. Come in with your next Pokemon, farm a little energy up. And gonna come in with a little Marowak, take it out with one shot. Now is up one Fire Spin. Coming into Steelix is a very favorable matchup. So let's see. I expect the Bone Club bait. I see rarely people go for the Shadow Ball against Steelix. Not necessarily. It's obviously landing the Shadow Ball is the right move, but it's just really risky. Like if it gets blocked, then you have like a lot of energy that got blocked. So I expect the shield to come up. Ends up being just a crunch. But should be able to take it out with this next Bone Club. Nope, able to get to it. And then I'm assuming now Sopheak is going to try to farm up a little bit of energy. And then maybe a little too aggressive there. Let's see. It's debatable. Like, Shield could have came up, but also Driftblim's in the back. Going to get access to that Shadow Ball first. But, man, it's going to be... should be okay, actually. Could have shielded there and then just landed the Shadow Ball onto the Poliwrath, but then the Poliwrath would have got a little bit of energy. Not that a single Ice Punch would have KO'd Driftblim, so it would have been okay either way. But it does KO there. Because the Steelix elected to crunch, that means a fast move would KO the Steelix, but it is a risky play either way. Sopheak was in an excellent position. Going those double Shadow Ballers are really good team composition, just because once shields go down, which Poliwrath provides a ton of shield pressure. Maybe not in this situation, because obviously Alolan Marowak is not going to shield anything from Poliwrath, especially now that he knows Iglees has Ice Punch and he didn't go up for the Hydro Pump bait. But Poliwrath, very good against this team. Really has to worry about, I guess, two Pokemon, Medicham and Cresselia. But with double Ghost in the back, has double coverage against Poliwrath's weaknesses. Alright, so gonna be able to probably bubble down. Okay, alright, nice play. Gonna bubble down. And then let's see what comes in next. It's going to be Poliwrath. Going to go for this Dynamic Punch. Hasn't shown Dynamic Punch yet. So let's see if this will KO. Oh, this will go through. Not KO. And then does want to go for the second Dynamic Punch. I wonder if Silent Raven also has Dynamic Punch, because for sure should have got to at least Power Up Punch or Ice Punch. Going to go for the Ice Punch. Not going to KO. Ooh, oh man, I think Sopheak could have got to that. Not in a. It's an okay situation because up a whole Pokemon. Gonna want to try to farm down, but Gonna get hit by this second Ice Punch, which is gonna do a decent amount of damage, but these bubbles are certainly gonna add up. But does have a ton of energy available. So let's see what comes out. Steelix obviously wants to take the shield and land a Shadow Ball. Doesn't, so it's probably gonna go double up. And then let's see, it's gonna be a race to get to this. Well, should be able to beat it to another Bone Club. And then it's kind of a gamble. You could switch out right now and then aim for the Shadow Ball, or bank that the Steelix is not going to farm down, or in this case it actually can't, and it's going to get hit by another Bone Club, which does KO it. So really, really nice job taking the first round. So gonna play game number 1 in round number 2 against Psychedelic Curse, and gonna lead a Alolan Marowak into a Alolan Marowak. Let's see if this is the Hex variant. They're both Fire Spin, so again, this is 100% baiting game. That's for sure Bone Club. There's no way that's Shadow Ball. Just Bone Club. I think like revealing that was like a little premature. So gonna go for the Shadow Ball, looking for Psychedelic not to shield. It's kind of a gutsy move. Gets the no shield Shadow Ball, which puts this Alolan Marowak in a really good position, especially since it has energy remaining. And here comes Empoleon, thinking that this Empoleon won't shield, so gonna go for the Shadow Ball, and it does shield, and this Empoleon will just farm down. So kind of a risky play, but that's quite alright because Medicham is coming out. I expect this Empoleon to switch out. Nice switch into Drifblim, and I expect a counter switch up to shield. So likely just gonna let this Drifblim do its charge move, and then it's probably even worth it to, well, you know, this gonna double up. I don't think this Ominous Wind is gonna KO this Drifblim. I'm gonna put it pretty low. Oh, no, it does KO. Okay. Oh, gets the buff too. Unnecessary buff. Oh, I thought Drifblim would be able to survive a little bit more health. It was at like probably 40%. But Drifblim is a little bit squishy. So Ominous Wind does 100 out, about 100 out of 210, so a little bit more than 40%. So that kind of makes sense. Gonna go Haunter into Steelix, and really this game is about baiting. So you want to land the Shadow Ball, and you want to bait with Shadow Punch. So let's see. Gonna go up for the Shadow Punch. Did go straight for the Shadow Ball last time. Does get the shield, and then here comes the Shadow Ball. Let's see if the Steelix is gonna double shield. It might. It does not. And now this Haunter is in pretty good position. Let's see what comes out. It's Gallade. Gallade just one-shots it. Okay, so in an okay position, like Drifblim is probably the safest option. Gonna come Alolan Marowak. Well, I guess they're both good options because they both resist the Leaf Blade. Gonna switch out into Drifblim. And then this is a favorable matchup for Drifblim, but oh man, doesn't shield that Shadow Ball. Oh my gosh. Oh god, that is terrible. Doesn't have to shield, doesn't matter what the charge move is from Gallade. Just gonna be able to take it down. Could have just, to be honest, could have just mostly just farmed it down, but gonna shield and then able to take it out. So that's why I said like it really wasn't necessary to do the charge move, but a little bit, in theory, a little bit safer because it does take down the shield. So taking game number 2. Now this is game number 3. Pretty sure that was game number. Yeah, because of them pulling on the first match. Okay, all right. Going to game number 3. It's already taken this round, but let's see how Sopheak responds. Really nice play, and really like being flexible on the ghosts that are being used. Coming with Haunter is very risky. Does catch the lead, a really big lead advantage. A little bit of lag, but gonna switch out into Empoleon. Gonna switch out into Medicham. Medicham is absolutely gonna just ruin this Empoleon. Probably didn't even necessarily need to do the power up punch. Oh, it does get the shield though, which is huge. And this Empoleon does get to the charge move, so kind of an interesting trade-off. Gonna let it go. Interesting. Willing to take that shield advantage, and coming into to Alolan Marowak is super risky, because it does chunk away at quite a bit of health. Gonna come back in. It probably has Gallade in the back. Let's see if there's a Psychic or a Power Up Punch. It ended up just being a Power Up Punch. And here comes the Bone Club. And let's see if a shield comes up. A shield does come up. Gonna go straight for the Shadow Ball, knowing that a lot of people don't like to double shield one Pokemon, and able to take it out, and is in huge position. Wow, okay. And I'm assuming the shield's gonna come up. Does need to shield because it doesn't need to shield because it has Alolan Marowak in the back, but this is just way safer to shield. Doesn't necessarily need to go for the Shadow Ball. An Ominous Wind would KO at this health, but why not? Just for good measure. Able to take game number 3, go for the 3-game sweep, and now we move on to round number 3 against Tien the Legend. Running Medicham, Claydol, Haunter, Alolan Marowak, Bastiodon, and Steelix. So running that double steel, double ghost, psychic, and fighting with no Poliwrath. So gonna lead Claydol into a Drifblim. Not a great matchup. Obviously, it is running double ground. Obviously, a psychic would hurt quite a bit. So let's see if a shield comes up or not. Ends up being Earth Power. Most people are choosing not to run. Are choosing to run double ground. So does wow, interesting. Gonna go for the Shadow Ball again. Going for the psychology that if people shield once, they're not going to shield the second time. But this case does shield, and then but is up 2 shields to 0. So it's kind of worth that risk. Doesn't have necessarily a great switch in. Gonna come Steelix. If this is Earth Power, it's gonna do a decent amount of damage. And let's see if this Claydol has enough energy to get to a second one. Gonna come Alolan Marowak, but this Alolan Marowak is gonna get Earthquake. Let's see if there's a Shadow Ball or Bone Club. Goes for the Bone Club. This Alolan Marowak is gonna get absolutely annihilated right now, and hit with a super effective Earthquake and one-shotting that Alolan Marowak. And here comes Claydol. This Claydol will be borderline surviving this crunch. Nope, it does not. Definitely does not. And here comes Haunter. Oh, this is not a great situation for this Medicham. Does need to guess whether or not it's a Shadow Punch or... Wow, okay, Jesus. It's also really dangerous because can it even get to... Shadow Psychic? It's gonna be very close, actually. I would say going for that Shadow Punch was actually a mistake because the Psychic is gonna KO, and Machamp is able to take it out, and that's the advantage of running Psychic. Because if it was running Ice Punch, then the Haunter could have survived the Ice Punch. So really, really, really nice play on Sopheak's side against the Haunter. Gonna go Haunter into this Bastiodon. Not a great matchup, and this looks like this Bastiodon was lagging a decent amount. And able to hit the Shadow Ball. Gonna force a shield. Could shield, and then gonna force a shield onto this Bastiodon. And if it doesn't shield, then obviously it's gonna get taken out. And then even then, it's going to... Oh, man, super close to getting that additional damage. Obviously, that few additional hits at the beginning of the match helped out Sopheak, but not really that much because it would have got to Shadow Ball and and a Shadow Punch no matter what, especially with the shield. And it actually allowed the Steelix to farm up a little bit less against Bastiodon, since it still got off the flamethrower. And then now they have corresponding lag, which would it might have allowed the Steelix to gonna go for Power Up Punch. I imagine immediate switch out. Gonna switch out into Haunter. Not way too slow on that switch. Need to switch right away. To be honest, I think you just gamble and switch right away. If you're, let's see if this is gonna be, ends up being an Ice Punch, which would have did a lot of damage. Gonna go for, oh wow, this is gonna be pretty close. But not quite enough. And gonna KO with this Shadow Ball. I think if you're the Medicham, if you're Tien the Legend, you switch out to Haunter right away. Nothing on that team is like an immediate threat to Haunter. There's no confusion users, so a little bit of a misplay on Tien's side. Gonna go Fire Spin. Man, it's so hard to tell if these guys are lagging or not. This is gonna be a Shadow Ball, a Bone Club. Since it was a little too early on that first one. Let's see if it does get the Shadow Ball to come through. It does. Wow, okay. Am I watching the same match as the first one? Let's see if this is a Steelix. Did I put this video in the wrong order? No, it's because of being a Bastiodon. Okay. Wow, okay. I'm surprised no shield. But Sopheak really understanding his opponents. And just gonna farm down this Bastiodon, or farm down this Alolan Marowak. Oh, going for double shielding is very not right strategy. Let's see if this is a flamethrower. Oh, ends up being a Stone Edge. Wow, okay. Tien the Legend is 100% misplaying this. And then here comes a flamethrower. And then you definitely would want to farm up a little bit. And that's probably sufficient. I think it takes 7 to get to a Stone Edge flamethrower. And then here comes Haunter, and then Haunter is gonna get pretty much one-shotted from this crunch and taken out. So double shielding those Bone Clubs was absolutely a huge mistake on Tien's side. Bone Clubs are double super effective, but don't do that much damage. And gonna go into round number 4 against Sir Jam. Gonna lead Steelix into Drifblim. This does favor Steelix, so expecting the switch out. But it's also not that terrible for Drifblim, especially if it can land the Shadow Ball. Ends up baiting with the Ominous Wind. And then this crunch will do a huge chunk to Drifblim. So let's see the shield come up. It does. I'm not necessarily and get a little bit of lag. Gonna go for the second crunch. Must be loading up for the Shadow Ball. This, oh wow, gonna let it go. Okay, interesting. Ends up being an Ominous Wind. Should be able to hit another Ominous Wind. Gonna walk away with the shield advantage. Really valuing those shields. Gonna come with Drifblim, which is a little bit safer play because those Hex are gonna do a little bit more damage. And then looking to land this Shadow Ball against Steelix. Steelix has one shield left. And then anything in the back, there's nothing necessarily in the back that can beat Alolan Marowak up a shield advantage. So let's see, gonna go for the Shadow Ball. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sopheak decide to, okay, ends up just crunching. And then this Alolan Marowak is in a really excellent position because there's nothing on Sir Jam's team that's going to be able to take out this Alolan Marowak. Gonna take it out beforehand. Could even just farmed it down. But it's fine. Up 2 shields to 0. This is no problem for Alolan Marowak. These confusions are doing a decent amount of damage. But this Shadow Ball will do a ton of damage to Cresselia. And just needs to land one more. And should be able to take it out. Could have even Bone Club probably at that health and taken it out. But this is just for good measure. So GG. Sopheak really understanding that shield advantage, especially if you carry 2 Shadow Ball Pokemon in the back, might be even more advantageous. Interesting leading Steelix, especially when there's double fighters. And then this is all mind games, this mirror match. Especially we're not seeing, I don't know, like catching the Earthquake, which is huge. Gonna bait with this Crunch. Let's see if the Steelix falls for the bait. It does not. So still kind of even in terms of the energy. They're both trying to sell it. Let's see if Surjam does get the bait here, which is huge. Let's see if Surjam's gonna correspond bait. No, Earthquakes. Okay, all right, but that's all right still. It's not great for Sopheak. Gonna land this Crunch, which is gonna do a decent amount of damage, and then gonna want to farm up probably just before the Steelix gets to a Crunch, but it's a little hard to tell because it alternates. It takes 5 for the first one, 4 for the second one, then alternates between that. Gonna mirror with Drifblim, so and then this is probably an Ominous Wind, but it could be a Shadow Ball. It ends up being an Ominous Wind, which still does a decent chunk of damage. And then going to Correspond Shield. Oh, got the buff, and that's going to be huge. Still beat it to the charge move, but even if it didn't, this wow, okay, it doesn't KO, but this Ominous Wind is not going to do very much damage. Oh wow, okay. What the heck? Did they both get a buff or something? I don't know. That was very weird. Did I see that wrong? And then able to take it down with Bubble. So really nice play on Surjam's side, especially winning that mirror match was really huge. But now they're going to game number 3 in round number 4. Did they both get the buff? Like how did that occur? So this matchup does favor Poliwrath in I think in all shield scenarios. If you're the lone Marowak, you do want to land the Shadow Ball, and then you can either go 1 of 2 routes. You can go I think this Poliwrath is lagging though. You can either go the Ice Punch route or the Power Up Punch route. Yeah, this is very weird. Let's see if this is an Ice Punch. It ends up being a Power Up Punch. Gonna be able to survive this Shadow Ball, so I don't expect a shield to come up from Poliwrath. It does not, and able to take it out. And this is probably gonna be Medicham. And let's see if this is Power Up Punch or Ice Punch. Ends up being Power Up Punch. Gonna switch out into Drifblim. Gonna mirror with Drifblim, but up a shield is maybe a little bit too much to overcome. Really nice switch on Sopheak's side, understanding that there's very little on Surjam's side. Man, if it came Haunter, it would maybe up a shield. There's nothing too much that Drifblim is worried about. Lost to CMP tie. Gonna come another Ominous Wind. And gonna hit one more. This Drifblim should survive, but I don't know if it has enough health to be able to get to another Ominous Wind. It does not, and this leaves Surjam in a really terrible situation. Gonna go Shadow Ball. If I was Surjam's, I would definitely just choose the farm, especially after I see the Shadow Ball. Yeah, I don't know. This is and then here comes Medicham, and really needs to land this Earthquake. Probably even if it does land the Earthquake, it's not necessarily going to matter. But this Medicham did expend energy, which is going to be pretty critical. Maybe would have undercharged, but it's quite alright. Ended up being super close. So really nice job taking game number 3 in a really tight and really close and contentious match. Gonna go going against Savager, running Medicham, Claydol, Mawile, Drifblim, Dusclops, and and Steelix. This matchup does favor Fire Alolan Marowak because those obviously that fire damage is doing super effective, as opposed to Hex being just neutral. So no shield. This power punch is double resisted, not going to do very much damage. And let's see, gonna nice switch to Poliwrath. Let's see if Sopheak has an answer in the back. Gonna mirror with Poliwrath. And let's see if this is gonna be ends up being a dynamic punch, which is gonna do a lot of damage. Gonna hit for its own dynamic punch. And no shield, but is at an energy disadvantage, but just has to land this ice punch, which is going to be huge. And does get the shield, so now it has the energy advantage. Shield comes up. I expect Sopheak just to farm down this Poliwrath, which it does. It could have got hit by an ice punch if Ice Avenger does have an ice punch. And here comes Dusclops. And then just going to be able to wail onto this Dusclops, but does eventually want to switch. Let's see if this... Man, it's loaded up so much energy, but wants to protect this Drifblim because knowing that this Drifblim can tank a Shadow Punch, it's going to be close, man. It's going to be really, really close. Going to switch out into... Mawile. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. This is not... Well, I don't know. It's like... It's definitely going to be able to land this Shadow Ball. And this is going to KO this Dusclops. I'm not sure switching out was necessarily the right move. It's tough to say. But GG, well played on both sides. So let's see, in game number 2, it does have a favorable matchup, but a little less favorable because it is running the Fire Spin variant. These confusions are definitely chunking away. Definitely does want to land this Shadow Ball. Let's see if a shield comes up from Claydol's side. No shield would be huge. Does get the shield, and then gonna switch out into Drifblim. Ooh, nice switch. Let's see if it called it correctly. Ooh, man, that was a huge switch. Does get the defense drop, and gonna have to shield, and gonna have to burn the second shield, or gonna let this Mawile go down. Ooh, or almost go down. Well, I guess here comes Poliwrath, and then this is gonna be a power-up punch, which is only gonna do a little bit of damage, and going to be able to just chunk away a little bit. And then let's see if Ice Avenger has anything for Poliwrath. Obviously Claydol. Gonna have to shield. Oh, goes Earthquake. That's a waste. But should have went, in my opinion, Earth Power, just for the chance of the debuff. And now left in a really bad situation. One chance for debuff and the chance to get off a second charge move. If it does elect to, gonna get hit by multiple ice punches. And this Dusclops really wants to farm down this Poliwrath, but I can't. Let me see if it's running the Hex or Feint Attack version. Well, I guess I'll know in a little bit, maybe. Gonna shield. Man, let's see. Man, I can't tell because oh no, it's running the Hex version because the Alolan Marowak is not running it. So wow, okay, GG, taking the championship. Now gonna play out game number 3. Really well played on Sopheak's side. Gonna go Alolan Marowak into Mawile. Let's see if a switch out comes out. Does want to eventually switch, but is just farming up to 2 Bone Clubs, seeing if this Mawile will shield or not. It does not. And then here comes the power-up punch. And then likely at this point in time, just going to farm down this Mawile. And let's see what comes out. Doesn't really have a great answer to Alolan Marowak. Gonna come out with Claydol. Interesting. Obviously wants to shield this Shadow Ball. Let's see if it does shield it. It does, and then just gonna farm up a little bit of energy. Those Fire Spins not doing that much damage to Claydol. Gonna go Drifblim. Not a great situation at all. Ice Scavenger likely has Medicham in the back for the reason why that's no switch, or Dusclops. Okay, Dusclops does have the slight advantage in the matchup. Dusclops does, since it's running the Hex variant, but it's also down a shield, so it's not really going to matter too much. And then as well, this Drifblim has way too much health. Claydol has no recourse against Drifblim. Its best hope is to get the defense drop and have the Confusions faint down, because those Earth Powers and Earthquake are not going to do any damage. So this Drifblim doesn't really need that many shields in the back to try to win. And gonna look to, okay, yeah, I get it. Gonna sack it. Gonna look to, but has 2 shields. And not gonna let it go. And then unfortunately this Drifblim has a little bit too much energy, a little bit too much health, and it's a little too late for Ice Scavenger. And here comes the KO. And then I think only lost 1 match. So really impressive run by Sopheak. Utilizing that triple ghost strategy, using the double shadow baller strategy exceptionally well, and able to take this tournament. So congratulations, and thank you for sending me the videos. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.